Hacer un negocio, cosa que en Estados Unidos está difícil.
So another interesting thing about Panama is that we have influx of multinational corporations coming to Panama because of the free trade zones that have been set up by the government.
También hay una ventaja que es la continua llegada de compañías multinacionales que van a la zona de libre comercio.
Now I know we don't have all that much time, so let me just point out a few things. Cologne, which is the port city, is the second largest free trade zone after Hong Kong. Many people don't realize it. It's humongous. It has huge areas of warehousing available, shipping and logistics.
Colón, el puerto de Colón es la segunda zona de libre comercio más grande del mundo después de Hong Kong.
And on top of that, what Panamanian government has done, when we left in 1999, by the way, this map commemorates the canal, and when we gave the canal back to Panamanians in 1999.
Okay.
This map is commemoration of the canal, which was built in 1914, and we gave it back to Panama in 1999.
Este mapa es una conmemoración en memoria del momento en el cual Panamá recuperó su canal hace un par de años. When did that Panama recover the channel?
In 1999.
1999.
Jimmy Carter signed an agreement in 1974 or 75 that we will manage the canal and we promised to give it back, and we did. Thank God we did not do that.
Esto fue firmado en 1974 por Jimmy Carter.
When we gave the canal back, we also gave back all of the military zones that had been built by the Americans when we were stationed in Panama.
Y se recuperaron también, se devolvieron a Panamá todas las zonas militares donde vivían los cuerpos de la defensa americana en el canal de Panamá. Yo estuve ahí, y zonas muy lindas.
So it was a lot of infrastructure that was already built and highly developed that Panamanians turned into free trade zones in order to utilize all this.
Y ahí está ahora la zona de libre comercio.
So in the free trade zones, you have a lot of benefits. You have tax holidays. You have special labor regime, you have special visa regimes. So this is one of the reasons why we have 26 multinationals, such as Caterpillar, HP, Procter & Gamble, I don't remember the whole list.
Moliagro.
Yes, they all. Myers, of course, Green, what was the other large logistics company? Green Lines? I forgot. So all of them are coming to Panama to take advantage of these extra facilities in the free trade zones.
Tiene ventajas en los salarios, en las cargas sociales, en los impuestos, y ha traído entonces 26 corporaciones solamente a Colón.
Now, switching the subject a little bit, another interesting thing about Panama is that Panama has one of the most advanced legal structures for wealth management and asset protection.
Cambiando del punto de vista de lo que estamos charlando, Panamá tiene uno de los mejores sistemas de protección de la riqueza personal y de administración de la riqueza personal que hay en el mundo.
And it is based on the old Liechtenstein model, but we have actually utilized Panama foundations for about 10 years because it has become very difficult to work with Liechtenstein for various reasons.
Entonces, desde hace 10 años se utiliza el modelo de Liechtenstein de las fundaciones porque está muy difícil trabajar usando el modelo panameño.
So, Panama has traditionally provided asset protection and wealth management, although not too many people know that. And again, you have to be very careful that it is structured properly.
Entonces, Panamá, muy poca gente sabe que Panamá tiene una excelente estructura de protección de la riqueza, en términos de que nadie sepa que es tuyo, obviamente, pero también, nuevamente, tiene muchos detalles que hay que conocer.
Other things that are interesting about Panama, even though it's a very small country, Panama has a little bit of copper and gold deposits, which have been given out as concessions recently.
Han dado concesiones de oro y cobre que han descubierto recientemente.
They have built oil holding terminals, and they have allowed there is a petrochemical pipeline that goes across Panama. It now operates in both Pacific to Atlantic and Atlantic to Pacific.
Han armado un sistema de comunicación entre los dos océanos para el transporte de productos petroquímicos.
The government is actively looking for projects that would allow it to conserve energy, any kind of alternative energy, and any kind of real investments in the economy, not only as the financial sector, but actually investing in the economy of Panama.
El gobierno tiene un sistema de promoción para atraer inversiones reales, especialmente en conservación de la energía, y no tienen que ser necesariamente inversiones financieras.
Panama government runs on 5-year terms. The president and the cabinet and the parliament are elected every 5 years. We now have, in the year and a half of the new administration of President Martinelli.
El presidente Martinelli, que es un empresario muy importante, big entrepreneur.
Yes, he is. He's a very interesting man. He reminds me of our Mayor Bloomberg of New York, self-made man who has basically decided that now that he has made a lot of money, he wants to improve his country. And we're still trying to see how far he will go, and he has done a lot of great things.
El señor Martinelli, una vez que fue el dueño de todo el país, siguió gobernando democráticamente.
I knew you'd trouble. Anyway, so...
Ahí pasó las acciones no sean nominativas.
I can talk about Panama for the next 5 hours. I know we're running late. If you have questions, maybe we'll open up the room to questions.
Si alguien tiene preguntas, porque estamos tarde ya realmente, ahora es el momento.
I have a question. I've heard that in the last 2-3 years, many financial companies from Venezuela, they are buying brokerage houses and banks in Panama because of the problems in Venezuela. How is changing the shape of the financial system, or if changed something? Pregunté que en los últimos 2 o 3 años hay muchos bancos y casas de corretaje venezolanas que fueron y compraron casas de corretaje en Panamá y todo por obvias razones, ¿no? Entonces quería saber si eso le estaba cambiando la fisonomía al área.
It's true, we do have a lot of Venezuelan capital coming to Panama, but Panama has traditionally been a financial center. So we have capital coming from all over the world. They have not invested that much that it makes them stand out. It's a welcome addition. I have to tell you, the country that is making quite an impact is China. They're coming to Panama and they're really investing very aggressively. But we have Venezuelan clients and they are interested in setting up financial companies and financial service companies and doing export-import, using Panama as a gateway back home, which is a good strategy. So you're right, and all capital is welcome in Panama. They don't discriminate. Anything else?
Yeah, I have a question here. The question is, if you form a Panamanian corporation, are you able to work offshore from Panama?
Absolutely.
And if that is the case, what about taxes?
That's a very good question. Panama's taxation system is changing because the current administration is trying to create more of an investment destination rather than just an offshore sector. So we have taxes that are increasing. Panama's taxation is geographically based, which means if you're doing business in Panama and you're generating revenue in Panama, you will pay between 3 and 15% in taxes in Panama. However, if you have created a Panamanian company that does business internationally, you will not be subject to taxation, and in fact, you will not even be subject to reporting in Panama.
Sí, así es. Cualquiera que haga negocios offshore de Panamá solamente no paga impuestos en Panamá sobre los offshore, sino que ni siquiera tiene que reportar en Panamá, presentar balances.
So we still have this exception called international transactions, and probably eventually it will change also. But right now there are great advantages of using Panamanian entities to do business offshore.
Okay, one more question. You said that there is a credit available to do business in Panama. What's the interest rate?
Very similar to the U.S. A little bit higher. The mortgage rates have not come down. You will not see interest rate below 4%. Generally, the residential properties, the mortgages are around 6.5–7%, but you can get up to 25 years. And foreigners get mortgages just as the locals. Again, if you present your documentation properly, you will get a mortgage.
Los locales como los visitantes tienen una tasa de interés del 6,5% a 25 años.
The commercial mortgages are a little bit different. Interest rate, it depends on the project, how long, the
La
period
parte
of
comercial
time.
difiere un poquitito de acuerdo al proyecto.
But it is also available. Panamanian banks are funding the economy. They have not stopped.
What's the price of the square meter of buildings today in the
It varies. If we're talking about Panama City, which is prime real estate, it probably goes on average maybe $1,200 to $1,500 for very nice high-rise buildings, residential. The commercial real estate is much lower.
What are the prices at the commercial?
The commercial prices are anywhere from $20 to $150 square meter. It really depends if you want to be in a high-rise or if you want to be in one of the old buildings. So again, it's a very interesting environment. There is a price and a place for every budget. So we have some of the well-known licensed names like Trump is building in Panama, Stark is building UN Arts Towers in Panama. Then we have many local developers who are also building, and sometimes the price reflects that there is a brand name. But generally now it's a buyer's market as well. And if you're not in a hurry, you will find very interesting deals.
Si no estás apurado.